Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in because 50 Cent has once again strapped on his verbal boxing gloves, and this time, he's going straight for Meek Mill's jugular. And trust me, when 50 Cent decides you're done, it's not just shade, it's a full-scale funeral with balloons, confetti, and a DJ. So here's the tea. 50 Cent didn't just clown Meek Mill, he basically handed him a pink slip from the rap industry, stamped return to sender. And the way he did it? Savage doesn't even scratch the surface. He announced, that Meek Mill will never be relevant again. That's not an opinion, that's a career obituary read out loud like it's Sunday service. And let's be real, 50 isn't some random hater in a YouTube comment section. This is the man who's made entire empires off beef, the guy who turned Ja Rule into a running joke and bought out the first rows of his concert just to watch him flop. So if he's calling time of death on Meek Mill's career, oh honey, grab your popcorn, because this makes the Kardashians' family drama look like a bake sale. Welcome to the roast you didn't know you needed. Let's set the stage, because this feud isn't just beef, it's filet mignon drama cooked over an open flame. 50 Cent, the undisputed king of petty warfare, the man who turned trolling into an Olympic sport, has officially declared that Meek Mill's rap career is as finished as Blockbuster Video on Netflix launch day. And trust me, when 50 Cent calls time of death, people listen. This isn't just rap commentary. This is the celebrity equivalent of Judge Judy banging the gavel. Now here's the wild part. This didn't come out of nowhere. For years, Meek Mill has been in and out of the spotlight like a broken light bulb, sometimes shining bright with hits like Dreams and Nightmares, sometimes flickering out with L's so big they belong in a museum next to the dinosaurs. Remember when Drake bodied him with Back to Back? Yeah, the internet still hasn't let that one go. People were photoshopping his career obituary back then. And just when you thought he bounced back, here comes 50 Cent with a verbal knockout. Punch that makes Drake's diss look like a love letter. So what exactly did 50 say? Oh, he didn't hold back. He flat out declared Meek Mill irrelevant, done, dusted, past tense. He basically called him the MySpace of rap. Once hot, now a forgotten relic only mentioned when people feel nostalgic. And you know 50 Cent doesn't just toss shade, he builds a skyscraper with it. He painted Meek as someone who had his shot, fumbled it, and now exists as a footnote in hip-hop history. The internet? Lost. Its mind. Because when 50 talks, fans don't just hear it, they echo it, remix it, and turn it into viral content before the soundbite finishes. Within minutes, Twitter was a battlefield. Memes started rolling in, some showing Meek Mill's face photoshopped onto milk cartons with "missing last seen in 2018." Others compared him to the rap version of a Blockbuster card, useless but kind of fun to look at for nostalgia, and let's not pretend 50 Cent doesn't know exactly what he's doing. This man is a calculated troll. He's turned Instagram into his personal comedy club, roasting everyone from Diddy to Wendy Williams like it's his part-time job. He once mocked Ja Rule so relentlessly, Jay basically became a punchline at every cookout. Now he's aiming that same energy at Meek Mill. And fans are wondering, is this the end of Meek's relevance? Or just another chapter in the endless soap opera of hip-hop feuds? But let's back up a little. Meek Mill isn't some no-name rookie. This is the guy who came up with fire, who turned his street credibility into chart-topping hits, who had stadiums screaming the intro to Dreams and Nightmares like it was the national anthem. At one point, he wasn't just relevant, he was the voice of the streets. But here's the problem with being the streets. The internet moves faster. One day you're the hero of Philly, the next you're trending because Nicki Minaj clowned you on stage. And that's the painful truth. Meek's career has been a roller coaster. And not the fun kind at Disneyland. More like the sketchy one. At the state fair where the screws are loose and the operator looks like he hasn't slept in 3 days. Every time Meek got momentum, something dragged him down. The Drake beef, the legal troubles, the weird social media rants. It's like he's been cursed by the ghost of bad PR. And 50 Cent, being the master of smelling weakness, swooped in like a vulture circling fresh roadkill. The timing also couldn't be worse. Meek hasn't exactly been dominating charts lately. While other rappers are reinventing themselves, dropping collabs, flipping into fashion, or running media empires, Meek has struggled to keep that same buzz. He's had moments, sure, but consistency? That's where the cracks show. And 50 Cent, with his shark-like instincts, knows how to strike when the blood's in the water. So what was the immediate fallout? Chaos, obviously. Fans split into two camps: the Meek defenders, who argue he still got hits and that 50 is just trolling for clout, and the Meek critics, who gleefully piled on, saying 50 only said what everyone was thinking. The debates got so heated you'd think we were voting on who gets custody of hip-hop. And then the blogs jumped in. Headlines screamed, 50 Cent bodies Meek Mill with career shade, and is Meek Mill officially irrelevant? YouTubers were already pumping out reaction videos with thumbnails showing shocked faces and fire emojis. TikTokers stitched the eye clip into skits, pretending to be Meek Googling how to become relevant again. The internet ecosystem thrives on drama, and 50 had just dropped a buffet. But here's where the sarcasm really stings. 50 isn't just a rapper anymore. He's a businessman, a mogul, a guy with his hands in TV, liquor, and pretty much everything you can imagine. He's not beefing from a place of desperation. He's beefing from the VIP section of success. That makes his shade even heavier. Because when a peer calls you irrelevant, it hurts. But when a mogul calls you irrelevant, that's career kryptonite. And to add insult to injury, fans started pulling receipts. Old interviews, old tweets, moments where Meek looked shaky. They all resurfaced like ghosts at the worst possible time. Suddenly, every minor L in Meek's career was being rehashed, replayed, and reframed as evidence that 50 was right. It didn't matter if those moments were ancient history. The internet loves nothing more than building a case against someone. And they were lining up the evidence like it was Law & Order hip-hop unit. So let's recap this opening act. 50 Cent didn't just diss Meek Mill. He declared him irrelevant, the rap game's forgotten soldier. The internet took that claim, turned it into memes, debates, and trending hashtags. Fans divided, blogs feasted, and Meek Mill's career got dragged out of the closet like your old middle school yearbook photos. And if you think this is wild now, oh honey, wait until the celebrity peanut gallery starts chiming in, because nothing blows up a scandal like a little celebrity shade sprinkled on top. If the opening fireworks were shocking, what happened? Next was an explosion that shook the entire culture. The internet didn't just run with 50 Cent's words. It sprinted, it leapt, it pole vaulted into a full-scale circus. Suddenly, Meek Mill's name was everywhere, but not for the reasons he'd want. Twitter turned into a digital coliseum where users gleefully ripped apart his career like lions devouring their prey. Memes rolled out at lightning speed. People photoshopped Meek's face onto milk cartons labeled "missing," "last seen on The Cure." Charts. Others dug up his most awkward moments, the stair fall, the infamous Drake beef, the bizarre tweets, and turned them into a highlight reel of humiliation. It was savage comedy, the kind of mockery that spreads faster than wildfire in July. And then, the celebrity peanut gallery weighed in. Some rappers shaded him indirectly with cryptic tweets, others went full savage. One DJ uploaded a photo captioned, "Alexa, play back to back." Even comedians outside the rap world piled on, joking, 50 said Meek is irrelevant? Damn, I didn't even know Meek was still relevant enough to diss. That line stung harder than a diss track. TikTok creators smelled blood too. They flooded feeds with skits of fake Meeks begging to get into clubs, or 50 Cent impersonators walking around with megaphones shouting, "Irrelevant!" The creativity was brutal and hilarious, and guess who was watching it all? 50 himself. He reposted memes, laughed at the chaos, and basically turned the whole ordeal into his own personal reality show. Meanwhile, Meek's loyal fans tried to mount a defense. They spammed clips of crowds losing their minds to dreams and nightmares, declaring their guy untouchable. And sure, that song is legendary, but one anthem isn't enough to counter an avalanche of ridicule. When memes start outweighing music, the battle is already uphill. Bloggers and podcasters couldn't resist piling on. Headlines screamed, 50 Cent bodies Meek Mill, and YouTubers dropped think pieces about his so-called decline. Even news outlets outside hip-hop latched on. What began as one petty jab had mutated into a narrative. Meek Mill, the rapper who peaked, stumbled, and maybe never recovered. That's the terrifying part about shade from someone like 50 Cent. It isn't just an insult, it plants a seed of doubt. Fans start questioning, promoters hesitate, brands pull back, and suddenly the word irrelevant isn't just trending, it's reality. And the silence from Meek? Deafening. No diss tracks, no Instagram lives, no fiery response. In a game where clapping back is survival, silence looks like surrender. By now, the scandal wasn't just about Meek Mill's relevance. It had turned into a cultural event. The memes kept evolving, 50 Cent kept stoking the fire, and fans kept showing up with popcorn emojis. Hip-hop wasn't watching a beef. It was watching a career trial in real time. And the jury? Social media. By the time the smoke cleared, the damage wasn't just a few memes and hot takes. This was a full-scale reputational earthquake. The word irrelevant clung to Meek Mill's name like duct tape on a broken chair, and every move he made was judged through that lens. New music snippets, flooded with clown emojis, random tweets, drowned in replies saying 50 was right. It was like trying to swim against a tsunami of trolling, and it didn't stop with the fans. Behind the scenes, the industry started shifting too. Promoters whispered about ticket sales slowing down, collaborators quietly passed on features. Blogs stopped treating him like the headline act and moved their spotlight to hungrier, trendier rappers. In an industry where perception equals profit, being branded irrelevant isn't just a diss. It's a curse that eats away at your opportunities. Meanwhile, 50 Cent was thriving in the chaos, laughing as the internet did his work for a year. Him. He didn't need to drop a track or double down. He just sat back, sipping champagne, reposting the funniest memes, and watching the narrative snowball. That's the terrifying genius of 50 Cent. One savage comment can flip the culture on its head. He doesn't fight battles with music anymore. He fights them with perception, and perception is deadlier than bullets in 2023. The silence from Meek only made it worse. In an era where comebacks are currency, his refusal to clap back looked less like maturity and more like defeat, and fans noticed. The memes escalated again. 50 Cent edited as Thanos, snapping Meek out of existence, or as the Grim Reaper, adding Meek's name to the list of careers he's already buried. At this point, the internet wasn't asking if Meek had fallen off. They were debating when it happened. But here's the twisted part. Meek Mill still has the music, still has the catalog, still has the anthem that can electrify any stadium. His problem isn't talent, it's narrative. Once the internet decides you're done, every win looks like luck, and every stumble looks like proof. That's the cruel math of fame in the meme era. And this scandal isn't just about Meek. It's a cautionary tale for every rapper watching from the sidelines. Because if 50 Cent can erase you with a single sentence, it shows how fragile relevance really is. You can have hits, plaques, and clout, but if the culture shifts, you're one tweet away from being labeled obsolete. So what now? Does Meek fade quietly into that irrelevant box the internet has stuffed him into? Or does he come swinging with a project so undeniable it shuts everyone up? Hip-hop loves a redemption arc almost as much as it loves a takedown, but the climb back up is Everest-level steep. Either way, the world will be watching, with popcorn, gifs, and memes locked and loaded, and through it all, 50 Cent will be grinning like the puppet master he is. Because this wasn't just a diss, it was a masterclass in cultural warfare. He planted doubt, let the internet spread it, and sat back while the reputation of another rapper crumbled. It's savage, it's petty, and it's undeniably effective. And there you have it, folks. 50 Cent just pulled off another cultural hit job, and this time, Meek Mill was the casualty. But let's be real. You already know the internet isn't going to let this one die anytime soon. The memes will outlive us all. The debates will rage. And somewhere, 50 Cent is probably plotting his next victim while laughing like a Bond villain with unlimited Wi-Fi. So here's what I need from you, my scandal-hungry squad. Smash that like button like it owes you rent money. Drop a comment and tell me if you think Meek can ever crawl back from the grave 50 just dug for him, or if his rap career is officially on life support. And don't just scroll away like a ghost in an IG DM. Subscribe right now, because this channel is where the chaos lives, where the tea boils over, and where the scandals never sleep. Every week, hip-hop hands us another disaster wrapped in glitter, and here at Majestus Buzz, we're the ones ripping it open with zero chill. If you thought this was messy, wait until you see what's next. Because in this world, fame is fragile, beef is currency, and receipts are deadlier than bullets. So buckle up, because tomorrow's headline could make today look like child's play. Until then, stay nosy, stay savage, and stay tuned, because the gossip train never stops rolling here. This is Majestic Buzz, signing off with the truth you weren't supposed to hear, but couldn't stop listening to anyway.